Pásele a la nieve. ¿Gusta probar alguna?
Los guaraches, a los sopes y a todo eso.
Hay mango, hay coco.
Tortas, pambazos.
Hay vainilla, hay de limón.
Pozole rojo y blanco.
Ice cream, con maíz.
Pambazo de chorizo con papa.
Pásele.
Muchas gracias.
Ok.
¡Tarán!
There would be no LA food scene without the street vendors. We wouldn't have tacos, we wouldn't have hot dogs. LA hot dog, that's a trademark.
Without street vendors, I wouldn't know about tamales that are sold from the carts or elotes that are so wonderful. You'd never have experienced that.
Someone wants a late night bite and they go to a Carl's Jr. and they may not realize that, Carl's Jr. started as a street vendor. Pink's Hot Dogs was a hot dog cart. And look what happened. They were able to achieve their dreams. But these businesses are unicorns because our policies were working against them.
Ahí están, son ellos.
So when these street vendors go out and they're clamped down on, that's unthinkable because someone who is trying to make an honest living is being criminalized and is being subjected to excessive force.
I will cite you with the vehicle code of blocking the sidewalk. I will not give you any more warnings.
Cities are so eager and a little bit trigger happy with these citations for folks that are trying to get into the system and trying to get permits and trying to get approved carts. Some of these entrepreneurs have to pay $30,000 to $40,000 just to get a chance to work without a threat of harassment. And what we are advocating for is that the city and the state look at this and say there has to be a better way. That these micro entrepreneurs are not fronts for gambling rings and they're not selling drugs. They're selling fruit cups because they're trying to take care of their families.
Hola, mi nombre es Caridad Vázquez y vendo comida aquí como lo ven. El pambazo lleva chorizo con papa.
El pambazo es muy culturalmente en nuestros países de México. Es como una telera que se embarga como el chile de California y se le pone chorizo con papa y se guisa. Se va guisando como se vaya apeteciendo el pan. Es muy delicioso.
Esto es amor a la cocina. Estoy vendiéndole al chicharrón. Esta es mi pequeña cocina donde hago como 12 comidas, o sea, antojitos que yo vendo donde yo vendo ahí en mi puesto. Y todo, como vieron, con amor, con paciencia.
Y pues como siempre se ha dicho que en este país venimos por sueños americanos, pues lo que me toca a mí no fue un sueño americano, sino por necesidad de llegar a este país porque fui maltratada físicamente. Ahorita van a ver qué ricos tacos van a salir. Bien doraditos, bien crujientes. Delicious. Y eso a mí me motiva y estoy satisfecha que estoy dando y mi cultura y mi costumbre de la comida que nunca se va a perder. Así estemos en otras partes, pero mientras que existamos nosotros los vendedores, eso va a siempre seguir adelante. Ahora siguen los frijoles.
Los frijoles son muy importantes porque se puede dar un taco o en una quesadilla, pero siempre me piden frijolitos.
Y pues estas cosas nunca yo lo vi como vendedora allá en México, nunca yo miré un seguimiento de la policía que nos quitaba. Entonces para mí esto, lo que yo vi, para mí estaba dramáticamente muy feo, cómo nos trataban. Corríamos, agarraba mi carro y me decían, ahí viene la policía, íbamos con todas las cosas y digo, es una cosa como vendedor, nadie puede saber lo que es doloroso de saber que tu propio trabajo te estén hostigando.
¿Rojo o blanco?
Rojo.
¿De este rojo?
Sí.
Okay.
Gracias.
Provecho.
Bueno. Good.
Inclusive Action is one of the founders of the LA Street Vendor Campaign. And back in 2008, 2009, we recognized that street vending was illegal in Los Angeles, despite it being so iconic. So even though Los Angeles have finally legalized street vending in 2018, we knew that street food vendors had a different layer of policy that they had to worry about. If I was a street food vendor that was looking to get a permit in Los Angeles, I can go to the office and apply for one, but when they ask me what I'm selling, and if I say I'm selling fruit, they're gonna say, oh great, well can you show us your public health department permit? They're gonna require blueprints for my card and thousands of dollars for the new card, and there's a lot of systems that a street food vendor has to go through because the California Retail Food Code isn't designed for them.
No nos dejan, nos están poniendo muchos obstáculos, nos están poniendo muchas barreras. Queremos que ellos nos digan qué es lo que nos piden para poder llegar a tener el permiso de vender en la calle la comida, porque la comida no hay permiso.
One of the key characteristics of this campaign is that it's led by street vendors. When people say who is the leader of the campaign, it's kind of hard to say because it really is a collective. It's Caridad and it's Merced and it's Aureliano and Yolanda and Merlin and these very powerful vendor leaders that are working every day on the sidewalk. They're superheroes. Merced is a really thoughtful and also passionate organizer, and Merced was really critical leading up to the legalization effort here in Los Angeles.
Duró 10 años la campaña, de los cuales yo hice 9, pero fue un compromiso para mí que cada vez que el City Hall decía no, era un reto. Varias veces salí llorando por todo lo que los dueños de negocios establecidos grandes hablaban lo peor de nosotros. Vendo en el distrito de La Piñata, vendo lentes para el sol, vendo gorras, sombreros, ropa interior de bebé y vendo dulces típicos de mi estado de Puebla. Te trataban como un criminal, llegaban y no le importaba a la policía si tenías niños, si eras un anciano, todo te recogían y la gente pensaba, y yo también decía, si me quitan todo, ¿qué voy a hacer? No puede uno, como mujer, doblegarse. Tiene uno que ser más fuerte que la vida, más fuerte que los problemas y siempre salir adelante.
La prueba es gratis, pásele. La nieve. Hola familia, bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Mario Ramos García. Estamos aquí en el área de Los Ángeles ofreciéndole los ricos y deliciosos helados con una tradición nuestra. La nieve.
¿Cuándo va a ser?
$5. La nieve. Claro que sí, porque los bebés son primero. ¡Tarán! Comenzamos siendo paleteros con esos carritos de puchar, gritando paletas. Y después comenzamos con los años a ver que podíamos vender raspados. Y finalmente terminamos aquí, en esto de la nieve. Y sí, nuestro sueño sería algún día, pues, seguir en la venta, pero a la vez también tener un local. Y de ese local, tener unas sucursales, ¿por qué no? Claro que esa es nuestra meta. ¡Tarán!
¿Qué significa se te quitaran el derecho de hacer esto?
Wow, es como quitarme el oxígeno, ¿verdad? Es como quitarme el alma. No sé, no quiero pensar, sería muy cruel, ¿no? Sería tremendo. Es como...
The vendors used to be all along here, and then Santa Monica wanted to prohibit them from entering the pier area, so they blocked this whole area off to the public and the vendors. Here's a space they could be setting up right here, but they've been kicked out. I was outraged by the fact that law enforcement would go and take the vendors' last way to make a living. You'd come down here on a weekend and there would be street food for you. And now you're not a vendor in sight, because as soon as a vendor appears setting up there, law enforcement sweeps down and they're ticketed and arrested. So the only vendors you're going to see now are a few, like the man over there who's pulling his goods along the sand, because the law requires that you have to keep moving.
I'm here simply to help these street vendors who have been faced with thousands and thousands of dollars in fines. It's interesting how we think Santa Monica is this liberal beacon. Yet when it comes to street vendors, people who are brown, who are Latino, who may be immigrants, then those people are not allowed. They're picking and choosing who is accepted into this community.
Black and brown entrepreneurs out here that have been hustling for a long time and have amazing ideas on how to activate space and make spaces much more dynamic. We need to bring them in.
Mi nombre es Teresa Murcia. Tengo 23 años que yo llegué aquí a Santa Mónica. La necesidad para mantener a mis hijos, para darles una mejor educación.
My name is Maria. I'm a hot dog and corn vendor. I've been vending in Santa Monica for 8 years already. Today I don't have a cart because the police is around, the city's around.
Pues ahorita la policía y la ciudad anda enfocada en sacarnos, pero lo que no estamos de acuerdo es en el trato que nos da la policía.
If they see us with the cart, they find us and they throw away our stuff. It makes me upset because in a lot of countries, including Mexico, there's a lot of people dying of having nothing to eat. And they're just getting here and throwing everything to the trash, even the fruit, everything, waters, sodas, chips, everything. One of the city officers came and tried to take my car out. When he pulled it, he threw the oil on me, so I have the marks right here when he burned me.
Llegó en la moto. Así llegan, pero llegan peor. Nos sentimos acosados. Esta es mi vida.
All I'm trying to do is to make money to support my family, my kids, so this is where we want to be.
Okay. Okay.
I know, she's leaving. So what you see behind me is the Joint Law Enforcement Task Force that the City of Santa Monica is spending almost $3 million over the next year and a half so that the street vendors can be rounded up and taken out of Santa Monica. Here at the beach, this vital part of our culture has been taken away. I can't imagine ever kids coming to the beach and then not experiencing that street vendor food of a hot dog or a fruit cup, etc. It's part of the beach experience.
So basically taking the vendors is like taking the culture away. It's a waste of money, honestly.
I don't understand the problem. I mean, it's not right for her to leave just because
we gotta make money.
Doing that thing. Yeah. And taking away their hustle is kind of messed up.
I think in order for us to bring street food vendors into our society, we need policies that recognize them as entrepreneurs. That means we need to design our permit systems in a way that they could actually understand and that encourages them to participate.
What folks can do to help the street vendors is call your city council member and say, please give the street vendors a legal and safe place to sell. Stop the law enforcement harassment.
Que nosotros como vendedores estamos dispuestos también a ayudar a que ellos nos ayuden a seguir vendiendo. Que sigamos luchando, que no dejemos de luchar, que basta de que nos oprimen. Ese es el mensaje que siempre he dicho cada vez que yo hablo. Compañeros, ¡sí se puede! ¿Abuelito? Sí. Action. Hola.
Hello. Hi, Mario. I did ice cream.
This is peanut butter. It's Very good.
Gracias. Tarán. Tarán. Tarán.